Hello student, I am Sangeeta Mansukhani. This is the video number 52. In this video I will be explain electronegativity and then periodic trends in chemical properties. First I will be explain electronegativity. But before the explaining electronegativity, I have explained periodic trends of the elements in the periodic table. Here you see, this is the way block form according to the periodic table, right? This is the S block, this is the D block, this is the P block. So physical trends like electron gain enthalpy, ionization enthalpy, atomic radii, electronegativity, ionic radius, electronegativity. So see, whenever we have to go left to right, size decrease. Okay, so size decrease. So according to the size, nuclear charge, electron gain enthalpy and ionization enthalpy also increase. Okay, so that is means size inversely proportional electron gain enthalpy and ionization enthalpy. So whenever we have to go left to right, size decrease and then electron gain enthalpy and ionization enthalpy increase. Then in periodic table you have to see this way, left to right we have to go non-metallic character increase, then opposite way metallic character. Okay, so that is means first S block and then starting elements of the D block, it is represent metallic character and then P block represent non-metallic character. Then up to down, when we have to go up to down, so you already known about size increase, and size increase, that is means its atomic radius also increase, and atomic radius increase, so electronegativity also increase. Okay, so size directly proportional atomic radius but inversely proportional electronegativity. Then this side also same, ionization enthalpy and electron gain enthalpy. So up to down we have to go. So size increase but ionization enthalpy and then electron gain enthalpy decrease. So this is the periodic trends of the elements in the periodic table. So you learn by this diagram. Okay. So left to right we have to go, size decrease and then electron gain enthalpy, ionization enthalpy increase. And up to down we have to go, size increase but atomic radius also increase but electronegativity decrease. Electronegativity. What is the electronegativity? Electronegativity, a qualitative measure of the ability of an atom in a chemical compound to attract shared electrons to itself is called electronegativity. That is means any compound, any metal, any element, otherwise you have to say an atom in any chemical compound to attract shared electron to itself, it is called electronegativity. Okay, comparison then ionization enthalpy and electron gain enthalpy. And electronegativity, it is not a measurable quantity because we don't know. Then a number of numerical scales of the electronegativity of elements like Pauling scale, Mulliken-Jaffe scale or Reid-Rocco scales have been developed for the finding the electronegativity. The one which is the most used, we have to use Pauling scale, and this is the given by Linus Pauling, and this is the American scientist in 1922 assigned arbitrarily a value of 4.02 fluorine and the element considered to have the greatest ability to attract electrons. So that is according to the Pauling, whenever we have to any element describe, so first on the basis of the Pauling scale we have to find electronegativity. So for fluorine, electronegativity found 4.0. See this table. Electronegativity values on the Pauling scale. Here atom period number second, So lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen and fluorine. So on the Pauling scale, this value find 1.0, 1.5, 2.0, 2.5, 3.0, 3.5. That is means see, this is the value increase, okay, across the periods. Then atom number period third, sodium, magnesium, aluminium, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine. So here see the value of the electronegativity 0.9, 1.2, 1.5, 1.8, 2.1, 2.5 and then 3.0. It is also increase, okay. So on the Pauling scale across the period, electronegative values increase. Then up to down we have to see, that is means on the across the down the group. On the Pauling scale, electronegative values, see, lithium electronegativity value 1.0, sodium 0.9, potassium 0.8, rubidium 0.8, cesium 0.7. That is means electronegative value up to down on the basis of the size decrease, because size increase, so its electron attract power decrease, electronegativity value decrease. See other example in group 17, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, astatine. See this value, electronegativity 4.0, 3.0, 2.8, 2.5, 2.2. See, up to down we have to go, size increase, so its electronegativity value decrease. So I already explained in the graph this way, left to right we have to go, electronegativity increase, that is means attract the power of electrons. Then up to down we have to go, atomic radius, size increase, but its electronegativity decrease. Then main concept of the electronegativity. So which is the, there are following terms. First is like electronegativity of any given element is not constant. Is not constant, that is means for each element are different electronegativity value, and it varies depending on the element to which it is bound. It is not measurable quantity, and it does provide a means of predicting the nature of force that holds a pair of atoms together. Again I say, electronegativity increases across a period from left to right, example lithium to fluorine, and decrease down a group, fluorine to astatine. Then after, how it is possible? How can these trends be explained? And can the electronegativity be related to atomic radii? So which tends to decrease across each period from left to right but increase down the group, each group. So what is the reason? So the attraction between the outer, otherwise outer, that is means outer shell electron, we have to say valence electrons. And the nucleus increases as the atomic radius decreases in the period. So only for electronegativity based on the size. And the same electronegativity values decreases with increase in atomic radius down a group. So this tends similar to that of ionization enthalpy, because electronegativity related to the size and ionization enthalpy also related to the size. So your basic concept, only for you learn this basic concept, electronegativity, ionization enthalpy completely based on size. And you learn left to right we have to go on the basis of the Pauling scale, size increase, size decrease, but ionization enthalpy and electronegativity increase. And then up to down we have to go, so atomic size and atomic radius increase, so electronegativity and ionization enthalpy decrease. This is the relationship. Next terms is, first terms electronegativity related to the size, second terms electronegativity related to the metallic and non-metallic characters. So in the graph I already explained, see, first and second group metallic character represent, and then p block side, okay, non-metallic character represent. So left to right we have to go. So non-metallic character increase. Okay, and then up to down we have to go. So metallic character increase. So this is the main basic concept. So non-metallic character have a strong tendency to gain electrons, and electronegativity is directly related to the non-metallic properties of the element, and further extended to say that electronegativity is inversely related to the metallic property of the elements. So you learn this concept, electronegativity inversely proportional metallic property. So then after increase in the electronegativity across a period that is means left to right we have to go, so is accompanied by an increase in non-metallic properties and then decrease in metallic properties of elements. Similarly, when we have to go down the group, okay, so decrease in non-metallic properties but increase metallic properties. So you learn only this graph, easily you completely understood. Okay, then periodic trends in chemical properties. Physical properties, in physical properties, which term I explained? Electronegativity, atomic radius, ionic radius, electron gain enthalpy, ionization enthalpy. Then in periodic trends in chemical properties, most of the trends in the chemical properties of the elements, example like diagonal relationship, inert pair effect, effects of the lanthanoid contraction, etc. But first we have to discuss about periodicity of valence or oxidation state. Okay, so in topic which term come? Valence or oxidation state. So what is the valence? Valence is the most characteristics property of the element, that is means outermost shell electrons of element that is represent as a valence. So valence is the most characteristic property of the elements and can be understood in the terms of their electronic configuration. So, and electron configuration we have to knowledge about atomic number. So you learn first atomic number, then you write electronic configuration, and on the basis of the electronic configuration we have to see which and how many outermost shell electron. So outermost shell electron as a represent valence electron. So the valence of representative elements is usually equal to the number of electron in the outermost orbital and equal to 8 minus the number of the outermost electrons. Nowadays, the term oxidation state is frequently used for valence. So two oxygen containing compound, like example is two oxygen containing compounds OF2 and Na2O. Here you see fluorine attached with oxygen and Na2O, sodium attached with oxygen. So in both compound oxygen present, but different is fluorine and sodium, and both have different properties, because fluorine is high electronegative but sodium is less electronegativity. Okay, so here three elements given: oxygen, fluorine and sodium. So the order of the electronegativity of the three elements involved in these compound is fluorine is high electronegativity, then oxygen and then sodium. So this is the sequence of the compounds: fluorine greater than oxygen greater than sodium. Okay, here you see group first, second, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Here you see this is the first and second. There are S block elements, and 13 to 18 it is a P block elements. So number of the valence electron first in the first group and then 2 electrons of the second group. So outer shell electron 1 and outer shell electron 2. In group 13 group and minus 10. So outermost shell electron is 3. So number of the valence electron is 3. 14 group minus 10, 4 electrons. 15 group minus 10, 5. Number of valence electron is 5, but valence is 3.5. Then 16th group minus 10, so 6 number of valence electron, but valence 2, otherwise 6. So depend on sharing. Then 17th group, 7 minus 10, 7 number of valence electron, but valence is 1 comma 7. Why? This is the reason, 1 comma 7. That is means 7 electrons. 17th group have 7 valence electron. So for complete the octet only for required 1 electron. So whenever they accept 1 electron, so it is valence only 1, and complete the octet and it is occupy stable configuration. Otherwise 7 electron remove. Okay, so then complete the configuration. So 1 comma 7 valence. Then group 18th, 8 number of valence electron, but 0 comma 8. 0 that is means removal of the 8 electron. Otherwise 8 is accept way, but complete the its orbital gas configuration. So not a sharing, not a gaining, and not a remove. So no loss, no gain, and no share. So it is the complete configuration. It's octet complete. It is a stable configuration. So noble gas is the best example of the stability. So in fluorine, oxygen, sodium, each of the atom of fluorine with outer electronic configuration 2s2 2p5, total 7 electron. So share of the electron with oxygen in the OF2 molecules, and being highest electronegative element. So that is means 7 electrons, so only for gaining 1 electrons, so its oxidation state -1. So there are 2 fluorine atoms in this molecule. Oxygen with outer electronic configuration 2s2 2p3 2p4. So outer valence electron is 6. So share 2 electron with fluorine atom and thereby exhibit only oxidation state +2. Then in Na2O, sodium oxide, oxygen being more electronegative comparison than sodium, and it accepts 2 electrons, one from each of the 2 sodium ion atoms. So show oxidation state -2 because cross multiply its valency. Okay, see Na and then oxygen, Na +1 and oxygen have -2, cross multiply, so its valency goes to the upper side of the sodium, so and then +1 goes to the upper side of the oxygen. Similar way downside, so -2 goes to the downside of the sodium, so Na2, and then +1 goes to the downside of the oxygen, so Na2O. Okay, so sodium with electronic configuration 3s1 and loses 1 electron to oxygen because only 1 electron, so it is easily lost 1 electron and it is given oxidation state +1. So the oxidation state of an element in a particular compound can be defined as the charge acquired by its atom on the basis of electronegativity negative consideration from other atoms in the molecule. Again I say, what is the oxidation state? Oxidation state of an element in a particular compound can be defined as the charge acquired by its atom on the basis of electronegative consideration from other atoms in the molecule. Problem 3.8, based on this topic, using the periodic table, predict the formulas of the compound which might be formed by the following pairs of the elements. Again I say, problem 3.8, using the periodic table, predict the formulas of compounds which might be formed by the following pairs of elements. First question given, silicon and bromine. So you already know about silicon is group 14 elements and with a valence of 4 because 14 minus 10, 4, and bromine belongs to the halogen family. So with a valence of 1 because 17th group and 1 electron accept, so its valence is 1. So the formula of the compound formed would be SiBr4 because cross multiply. So SiBr4, it's its formula. Next B, aluminium and sulfur. Aluminium belongs to group 13, so minus 10, so 3 valence electron, and sulfur belongs to group 16, so with a valence of 2. Reason because 16 minus 10, 6 electron, so only for 2 electron required for complete the octet. So octet complete require 2 electrons, so its valence of 2. So the formula of the compound formed would be Al2S3 because its valency cross multiply. So Al valency is 3, so going to the downside of the sulfur S3, and then sulfur valency is 2 going to the downside of the aluminium. So formula is Al2S3. Then B topic is anomalous properties of the second period elements. Second period elements is first element of the each of the group, first lithium and second one is beryllium. And then group 13 to 17, boron to fluorine, differ in many respects from the other members of their respective group. Example, lithium unlike their other alkali metals and beryllium unlike other alkaline earth metal form compounds with pronounced covalent character, and other members of these groups predominantly form ionic compounds. So one compound as a covalent type character and second one is ionic character. So this behavior of lithium and beryllium is more similar with the second element of the following group. So example here given, magnesium and aluminium. Okay, so this sort of the similarity is commonly referred to as diagonal relationship in the periodic table. Okay, so what is the diagonal relationship? If any element represent the similar with the second elements, so that is known as diagonal relationship. And here example given, magnesium and aluminium. Okay, so but what is the reason? What are the reason for the different chemical behavior for the first member of the group of the element S and then P block elements? So see, anomalous behavior is attributed to their small size, large charge, otherwise radius ratio, and high electronegativity of the elements. So these are the main difference points. Okay, otherwise the first member of the group has only 4 valence orbitals. Okay, 2s and 2p available for bonding, whereas the second member of the groups have 9 valence orbitals like 3s, 3p and 3d. Okay, so the maximum covalency of the first member of the each group is 4. Boron can only form Bf4 minus, whereas the other members of the groups can expand their valence shell to accommodate more than 4 pairs of the electron. Example, AlF6 3 minus. So Bf4 minus have 4 valence electron and aluminium have 6. So more than 4 pairs of the electrons. So aluminium example given, AlF6 3 minus. Then first member of the p block elements displays greater ability to form p-pi multiple bonds. P-pi multiple bonds. What is the meaning of the p-pi multiple bonds? If any compounds make double bond and triple bond, that is known as p-pi multiple bonds. That is means double shape of p orbital overlap and then making the double bond and triple bond. So C double bond C, double bond between the carbon, C triple bond C, triple bond present between the carbon, and double bond N, double bond between the nitrogen, and same as nitrogen. And two other second period elements, C double bond O, C double bond N, C triple bond N, and N double bond O, compared to the members of the same group. Then problem 3.9, based on this topic, are the oxidation state and the covalency of aluminium in this complex. Complex is AlClH2O whole 5 2 plus same. Are the oxidation state and covalency of aluminium this complex. So how to find oxidation state? I already explained chapter number in the part 2, chapter number 11. Okay, but here again I explain. Al, we have to find oxidation state. So X, Cl minus 1. Hydrogen valency is H2O, complete neutral ligand. So it's 0 valency. How many H2O given? 5. So 0 into 5. And then upper charge, upper valency going to the right side. So here given plus 2. So plus 2 going to the right hand side. Then after 0 multiply 5, 0, and then x plus minus 1. So plus minus minus. So this minus 1 going to the right hand side, and then plus 2. So plus 2 plus 1 plus 3. So oxidation state of aluminium is plus 3, and then here aluminium bonded with 1 Cl and 5 water molecules. So total is 6. So its covalency is 6. Okay. So are the oxidation state and the covalency of aluminum is same? No. Because oxidation state of the aluminum we have to found plus 3, and then covalency obtained is 6. So both are different. Then periodic trends and chemical reactivity. So simple concept of the periodic trends and the chemical reactivity size. Okay. So main fundamental properties such as atomic and ionic radii, ionization enthalpy, electron gain enthalpy, and valence. And we know by now that periodicity is related to the electronic configuration. And then all chemical and physical properties are manifestation of the electronic configuration of elements. So in the last graph I already explained up to down and left to right we have to go. So how to increase and how to decrease. Then we shall now try to explore relationship between these fundamental properties of elements with their chemical properties and chemical reactivities. So first we have to see according to the radii. So the atomic and ionic radii, as we know, generally decrease in the period from left to right, and then ionization enthalpy also generally increase. Then electron gain enthalpy become more negative across a period, and then ionization enthalpy left to right in a period is the least, and electron gain enthalpy of element on the extreme right is the highest negative. Only noble gas having completely filled shell and have a rather positive electron gain enthalpy values, but result is into high chemical reactivity at the two extremes and the lowest in the center. That is reason the maximum chemical reactivity at the extreme left among alkali metals and is exhibited by the loss of an electron leading to the formation of a cation, and then right side among halogens by the gaining of the electron forming an anion. So whenever loss of electrons, so positive charge create on the atom, so that is means cation, and then whenever electron gaining, so forming an anion because negative charge appear on the atom. So this property can be related with the reducing and oxidizing behavior of the elements, and which we learn later. And then metallic character and non-metallic character also related. So metallic character of an element which is the highest left hand side decreases, and then non-metallic character increases while moving from left to right across the period. And the chemical reactivity of an element is the best shown by its reaction with oxygen and halogens, and we shall also consider the reaction of the elements with oxygen only. So two extremes of a period easily combined, elements easily combined with oxygen to form oxide. So normal common oxide formed by the elements, the normal oxide formed by the elements left is the most basic is Na2O, and the formed by the element on extreme right hand side is the most acidic Cl2O7. Okay, left hand side example is given Na2O, it is the more basic, and then right hand side element more acidic example is Cl2O7. So oxide of the elements in the center are amphoteric, okay, in mid center way, Al2O3, As2O3, aluminum oxide, and arsenic oxide, and or neutral, CO, NO, N2O. There are three examples of the neutral way. Then amphoteric oxide behave as acidic with base and as basic with acidic. So they are known as amphoteric oxide. So in the way of definition way, those oxide behave as acidic with base and then basic with acidic acid, so known as amphoteric oxide. Otherwise, whereas neutral oxide have no acidic and no basic properties. So what is the difference between the amphoteric oxide and neutral oxide? So amphoteric oxide behave as acidic with bases and as basic with acid, whereas neutral oxide have no acidic or basic properties. So problem 3.10 based on this topic, show by a chemical reaction with water that Na2O is a basic oxide and Cl2O7 is an acidic oxide. Show by a chemical reaction with water that Na2O is a basic oxide and Cl2O7 is a acidic oxide. So Na2O with water forms a strong base. See, sodium oxide react with water. So whenever react with water, so sodium hydroxide form NaOH, and NaOH it is a strong base. Okay, and then next reaction you see Cl2O7 react with water, so formation HClO4. HClO4 it is a strong acid. Okay, so their basic or acidic nature can be qualitatively tested with litmus paper. Okay, next point related of the periodic trends and chemical reactivity. Transition metal, because we have to already discuss about S block, P block. Okay, here in this paragraph we have to discuss about D block elements, transition metals. Among transition metal 3D series, the change in atomic radii is much smaller comparison than representative elements across the period. And then change in atomic radii is still smaller among inner transition metal 4F series, because in D elements between which series 4F series and then 5F series, lanthanoid and actinoid. Then ionization enthalpy are intermediate between those of S and P block. Okay, and they are less electropositive than group first and second metals. So same concept here, increase in atomic and ionic radii with increase in atomic number generally result in a gradually decrease in ionization enthalpy, because main concept is, basic concept is atomic and ionic radius inversely proportional ionization enthalpy, because atomic and ionic radius increase, so ionization enthalpy decrease. So the metallic character increases down the group and non-metallic characters decreases. So this trend can be related with their reducing and oxidizing property. Next topic I will be explaining in next video. Thank you so much.